Morning, folks. Everything new under the sun. This is an article from israeltoday.co.il. Third temple alert. Police authorize Passover sacrifice next to Temple Mount. Now, this is pretty huge. I won't deny it. Religious Jewish factions say they are moving even closer to the realization of a third temple. So if you thought the third temple was a joke and it's never going to be set up, and the Bible doesn't, end-time Bible prophecy doesn't speak about a third temple, well, apparently the Jews are moving toward it for some reason. So maybe the Bible is right after all, because it says about the Antichrist will cease sacrifices, and they will not start sacrificing until they have some official third temple. Well, the latest evidence of this is police authorization granted Sunday, this is just a recent article, for a Passover sacrificial ceremony to be held just tens of meters from where the second temple once stood. Religious groups have been holding public Passover sacrifices in accordance with the biblical outline for years, but never before have they been permitted to conduct a ceremony so close to the Temple Mount, which Muslims claim as their own. Last year, the Passover sacrifice was conducted in the courtyard of the nearby Hurva synagogue in the Jewish quarter of Jerusalem's Old City, some 450 yards from the Temple Mount. And of course, the Arabs don't like this. Any move which would consolidate the belief and reinforce the belief that the Jews have some ownership of the land and the Temple Mount, etc. Well, they don't like any of that. And you have the image there of the priests blowing the trumpet there. That's from the 2015 Passover sacrifice. But when you see these things start to occur, you can start to understand that yes, indeed, they're pushing for the third temple. Yes, indeed, they want to start their sacrifices again. Yes, indeed, they are recognized. They are becoming more of a faith-based, religious country in pushing for this. And the ultimate conclusion of this will be the abomination of desolation, which is in the third temple that the Antichrist will fulfill. So when you see them starting to sacrifice, you know that the next step, very near, is that they're going to be calling for a third temple to be rebuilt. They have a tent ready to go. They could set it up immediately, a temporary temple. They don't have to build some big, multi-million-dollar building for this. They can set up a tent, a temporary building, pretty much immediately. They're ready to go. The Temple Institute is ready to go with all the implements to get this going. And so as soon as they start getting real permission to sacrifice, and the closer they get, the more the Israeli population is going to be pushing for a third temple, saying, look, we're so close, we're sacrificing for these other festivals. Let's just create our temporary temple and start sacrificing officially in the temple. And so it's pretty amazing. Because we know the time is very, very short when they start doing this. And we know that the Antichrist then is going to desecrate the temple. So we know that if the temple is getting close to fulfillment, we know that the Antichrist is not far off. And this is coming fast, very fast down the pipeline. This is going to occur in very short order, I believe. I believe it is possible indeed that the third temple could be built even this year. We'll see if that turns out to be true or not. But we have these articles that are pointing us in that direction, and the Jews are very much coming very close to wanting the third temple created. And I think with the embassy moves to Jerusalem, that gives Israel strength and confidence to make these moves, to make these requests. And then you can see how Erdogan, basically setting up Gog-Magog battle, wanting all 57 Arab nations around to march on Israel at once and destroy Israel. You can see how these things are going to come to a head, and we're going to need a one world government, an Antichrist figure, to come in and enforce a covenant, and to put in place a covenant, and to say, look, you're going to share it. The Jews get their third temple, and the Arabs get specific dedicated access to the Temple Mount. Whatever the agreement is, we know that the Antichrist, the one world leader, is going to have a significant part of this, and the fact that they're going for their third temple, and they're looking to implement and to start up sacrifices regularly, and they've been doing sacrifices here and there for a number of years now. You know that the time is very short. So I'll leave it there, guys. I'll put the link in the description. You can check it out. Pretty amazing stuff. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.